If you watched this channel before, then you know I do a lot of POV street photography videos, and today we're going to talk about my setup on how I shoot these kind of videos, because I get asked this from time to time. Which camera are you using? How are you mounting your camera? And stuff like this. So today we're going to put everything on the table so you can see how I go about and making these videos, so you can skip some of the steps that I was going through in research and just jump straight into making these kind of videos for yourself. Let's get started with the video. So first of all, it might seem pretty easy on how you can do these POV videos, but there is actually quite some steps to think about when you're going to set this up. We're talking about balancing and stability when you are using the camera, so it will not shake too much when you walk around. We're talking about comfort, so it is comfortable for you to be wearing. And then of course we're talking about framing, probably the most important thing. How can you frame these videos so it is interesting to watch for your viewers? So let's talk about how I used to do these videos. We can talk about some other options that I'm not using and why. And then we will introduce the new way I'm doing these videos, because I have gotten a new piece of equipment that I think is really useful for making these kind of POV videos. But before we go talk about how we mount the camera to ourselves, let's just talk about my setup. As of right now, I am still using the DJI Osmo Action 1 to shoot these kind of videos. It is getting a bit old, this camera, so I might consider upgrading this. Of course, I'm just looking into like the DJI Osmo Action 5, because this is the same version of the camera that I have, just a newer model. But I also find the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 to be a really nice camera that produces some really high quality video. And I would really love to have this in my gear setup, but I think it is a bit of an expensive camera, and it might not be the best to be using when you're doing these kind of POV videos. But I'm also looking at the Instago 3 or 3S, because this is a really small camera and I really like this form factor. And I like the thing that you can detach it from the monitor, so you can look at the monitor to see what the camera is showing you, because you cannot really do this with the DJI. Then you need to connect it to your phone, and I really don't like to be doing this. But yeah, I guess you will see eventually here on the camera if I buy another action cam to be using for these POV videos. For the audio setup, if I am ever going to be using this when I'm out walking, then I am using the Hollyland Lark Max, and I bought into this system. I guess if you are a DJI user, then it would make more sense to be using the DJI mics, because these do also connect directly to the DJI cameras. But yeah, I don't own this. I own the Hollyland, which I am pretty happy about, and I have also made a guide on how to use this to understand the settings and stuff like this that you can watch if you are going to buy this or you have this and you need some help to understand how you use this to the fullest. So one thing is the camera, then you also need some sort of case to attach the camera to the mounting setup that you are going to be using. And I have this mounting case here that just works for the Osmo Action 1. It fits nicely into the case, and then you can still use the buttons. And you can attach the case here to whatever mounting system that you're going to be using. And I usually shoot in 24 frames per second, and I'm relying on the 180-degree shutter rule. So I'm trying to keep the shutter speed double the frame rate, so it will be around 1/50. And for this case, I will be needing ND filters to use with the camera to block out the sun. And I bought these ND filters from Newer that just works with the camera, that you can screw on in front of the lens. You will screw on the protection filter, and then you can put on the ND filters. And I bought a case of 4 different filters that will work for a different amount of lighting. So how can you mount the camera? Well, basically there are different kind of mounts that you could be using. One could be going handheld, like having no mount at all, just using the camera in your hand to show what you're shooting. I have done this not by choice, but by accident, because I forgot my mounting system or a screw or something like this. This will give you a freer hand to control where the camera is pointing at what you're going to be showing. But it also takes away one of your hands to be using when you're controlling your photo camera. So it is not ideal, because yeah, at least for me, I'm not that strong in my arms, I guess. I would like to have 2 hands to control the camera, to reach the buttons and stuff like this. So it is useful if you don't have another option, but I would recommend you getting some sort of mounting option. Then there is the head mount, and yeah, I haven't really used the head mount. I am a bit too vain to be using this, I guess. But yeah, you can attach this to your head, and then you have the camera on your head. And I really like the POV kind of look you get of this, because this will show more of the scene, I think. Like you will get this more top-down look where you show the scene, but you also look down into the camera when you're actually looking into the camera. So I think this produces a really nice look, but yeah, I'm just too vain to be using this. This could be where the Instago 3 or 3S would be better, because it's a way smaller and lighter camera, so it might be easier to be wearing without me feeling too self-conscious about it. There's also this clip-on thing that you can be using on a bag or on a cap. But again, the DJI Osmo Action 1 is pretty heavy. And you could walk around like this and look like a total idiot. And yeah, I don't want to do that. The thing I've been using the most is this chest plate thing that you put around your chest, and you put your arm through one side and then you clip it on. And then it is pretty locked tight to your chest. And this works pretty well. It is pretty fixated on your body. And yeah, you put on the camera and then you can go out and shoot. The thing that I don't like about this is that it is really hard to take off, because usually you will have a jacket of some sort over the chest mount. And because this is like looped around your arm on one side, then you need to take off your jacket to take off this chest mount. And also it takes up a little more space than what you would like to. But when it comes to stability, this is really good, because it is really fixated to your body. But you have to keep in mind that for some shots, for instance, when you are going like down, it is not that easy to adjust the camera to show what you're shooting, because then your body will be facing in another way. And because this is pretty fixated, the camera will keep shooting in the same direction. And it is not that easy to adjust, because then you need to untie the screws and yeah, turn it around. And because you cannot see the screen on the DJI camera, then it is not that easy to know what you are filming. So yeah, for like adjusting the angles and stuff like this is not ideal, but again, it works. And being fixated, it is also really useful for like if you're running or stuff like this, then it will stay close to your body and be really stable. You can simply also mount the action camera into the hot shoe, but I think this only works if you're using a really big or long lens like the 70-200, where you can actually see the end of the lens in the camera frame. This gives you another kind of look. But it really doesn't work, for instance, when you are walking, because then you have to hold the camera in a certain way for it to be vertical and to be useful. So yeah, this is not the best way to do it, but I have used this a couple of times. So let's talk about the new product that I've been teasing here. This is the Telesin neck holder SE 2.0, a metal wired rubber protected neck strap that you can put on and you can attach your camera or your phone to. And just to make sure, I have been provided with this product by Telesin and I have agreed upon making this video. I haven't really been told what to say apart that I need to mention the product here in the video, and that is all. So this is my honest and genuine opinion on the product here. And what do I like about the product? Well, first of all, this is way easier to put on because you wrap it around your neck and you don't have to wrap it around the whole of your body. Because it is made out of this wire structure, you can really fix it to your neck so it still stays pretty tight to your body, so you don't have to be wearing another kind of safety strap to really make it firm to your body. Now it's quite tight, so when I move it, it's actually pretty firm to my body. But in the case you do get a strap that you can put on with Velcro, so if you need to be using this setup for a more sporty or heavy-paced shooting, then it is possible to do so. And these are pretty easy to attach because these are Velcro based, so you just put it in here on the designated holders and then you put on the strap, close it in with the Velcro, and then it sits tight to your body, so the camera will be more stable and fixated. Yeah, you can also be using this strap here, now it's even tighter for you to be using. And I actually don't think this is necessary when you are doing like a POV walking around. What more do I like about this product? Well, you can use it for your action cam, but they have also provided this MagSafe attachment, so you can attach your iPhone if you have an iPhone. I do not have an iPhone, so it doesn't really work that well with my phone. But in the package as well, they provide a sticker, you can say, that you can attach to your phone or to the case of your phone. So it will turn into this kind of MagSafe case, so you can use it as well. I will not be using this at the moment, so I'm not going to attach this because I don't want this on my case if I'm not using it. But it is really nice that they provide this, so it's not only usable for iPhone users. Something that is really nice as well is when you attach your camera to the neck holder, you can turn it around in a 360-degree angle. So if you want to shoot in vertical mode, you can do this, but you can also turn the camera all the way around and you will get a different angle for your shot. And this might work better for you in this certain situation. That is really nice to have. And I think the rubber part of the neck strap is of a soft material, and this doesn't really feel like it's going to irritate your skin or like irritate against the fabric that might be over your neck, like a shirt here. At least I haven't experienced any sort of itchiness or irritated skin as of today. Another thing that is pretty nice with this product as well is that because of this wire structure, you can modify the way it looks in a way that you can actually use this as some sort of a tripod, a mini tripod for your action cam. And this means that you can also wrap this around things, almost like a gorilla pod. And I'm not sure if this was the intention with the product, but this is really nice as well. So for instance, you could like mount it to your door and you can get a top-down shot with your action cam, or you could mount it to a pole of some sort and you can use the action cam in this way as well. So that is really nice. So if you want to buy this piece of Telesin equipment, then you can use the affiliate link down in my description, where you will get a 15% discount. And I will get a little commission too. So the neck strap comes in different versions, and if you're just getting the neck strap itself, then it will cost you around $25 US. And if you want to get all the accessories that I also got here, then it will be $35 US, which I think is a pretty fair price for this kind of product. And because again, it is made out of this flexible wired material, it is pretty easy to roll together and store, like in your pocket or in your bag. So this will make it easier to carry around when you compare it to like the chest plate that I've been using before. So this was all for now. What do you think about the review here and the product? Let me know in the comment section if you found this helpful, or if you have any question about the usability of the Telesin neck holder. As always guys, take care and I will see you around.
I'm the biggest in the game, I'm the one they talk about. Everybody know my name, my resume is loud.